Up in the high ridges of Jade Mountain lies the greatest fighters in all of China, the Furious Five. Tasked with protecting the citizens of the Valley of Peace, these martial arts masters have trained the arts of Kung Fu their whole lives, defeating countless foes from all across the land. Wisely guided by Master Shifu, he taught each member of the five their own specific fighting style of Kung Fu that correlates with their native species. Inspired by the Shaolin-originated Chinese animal-style techniques, those being tiger, crane, monkey, snake, and praying mantis, they all have distinct abilities that play to that animal's strengths and weaknesses. Not only does this apply to the Furious Five, but also to the Dragon Warrior himself, Po. Seeing as the Furious Five is based on real styles of Kung Fu, I'd like to find out how accurate the filmmakers were when incorporating these diverse martial arts techniques into the characters we all know and love. Let's take a look at the martial arts accuracy of Kung Fu Panda.
We should hang out. Agreed.
First, we will take a look at the leader of the Furious Five, Tigress. The Tiger style is by far the strongest and most lethal of the animal styles. This ferocious beast typically focuses on strong, forceful attacks, with intentions to kill or at least severely injure, really putting the Furious in Furious Five. This predatory mindset biologically engraved into Tigress is the reason she is so feared by everyone around her, not to mention the rage she has been consumed by for most of her life, what with her never living up to Master Shifu's expectations, or not being deemed the Dragon Warrior after her extensive lifelong training. To perform the Tiger style correctly, you must shape your hand to that of a tiger paw, with your fingers resembling their viciously sharp claws, allowing you to easily rip, tear, or grasp at your opponents in order to penetrate their flesh. For the fingers to reach their most durable capabilities, fighters repeatedly strike hard surfaces, which intensifies the bones and increases the tolerance of pain being invoked. Does that sound familiar at all?
I used to punch the ironwood trees by the palace to train. Now I feel nothing.
That's severely cool.
A common facet of this style is to project your arms and legs in a swiping or circular motion that overwhelms the enemy, leaving them unable to counterattack. You can see Tigress execute these swift movements very frequently, along with her many other feline abilities, such as her impeccable reflexes and laser-focus concentration, always managing to stay one step ahead of the competition. It only makes sense that such a fierce fighting style is paired with the brave, fearless warrior that fills fear into anyone that dare face her. The second member we will discuss is my personal favorite of the five, Crane. The white crane style is easily the most defensive out of these techniques, aiming to evade enemy attacks, with offense being used quite sparingly. Being the graceful and elegant bird that he is, Crane isn't necessarily the strongest fighter. However, what he lacks in strength, he makes up for in balance. Upon first glance, Crane's spindly legs may seem like a great hindrance on himself and the five, but surprisingly, this unassuming attribute is actually his very own secret weapon. If you didn't know, birds are anatomically equipped with a balancing system in their pelvis that makes it much easier to center oneself. This explains how birds are able to stand on one leg without any struggle. This perfect sense of balance allows for both defense and offense against insurmountable odds. Crane's defensive tactics include coordinated deflection, along with him being incredibly aerodynamic. His ability to fly is what's put to use the most, with him saving the rest of the five from imminent danger on multiple occasions. If you decide to take a more offensive approach, you can easily emulate the crane's pointy beak by bringing your fingers together and bending your wrist either inward or outward. This allows you to quickly poke or peck at your enemy's more fragile parts of the body, like the neck or eyes even. I don't believe Crane ever uses his beak as a weapon in any fights, but he has been seen to utilize his talons from time to time. His most powerful attack is by far his capability to project large gusts of wind with his wings.
Wings of Justice!
In a way, Crane not only balances himself, but also the entire team as well. The duality of this style balances both Crane's disadvantages with his advantages, complementing each other to create the Five's very own personified scale, evening out this odd-numbered ensemble into an equal team of kung fu warriors. Voiced by a real-life martial artist, Jackie Chan, our third member of the Furious Five is Monkey. The Monkey style is one that is genetically close to human physiology. Centering around the loose and laid-back persona of its primate Inspiritor, it creates this respecting middle ground for these two fraternal species. This acrobatic art form requires absolute flexibility, fluidity, and adaptability. There are a vast amount of forms for the Monkey style, but they all typically involve crouching your legs and bending your arms, with one near your head and the other guarding your chest. There are also many forms regarding usage of a bow staff, which made its way into one scene in the first film, making Monkey the only member of the Five to wield some sort of weapon. The Monkey style strives for unpredictability and improvisational attacks that play off of your surroundings, using agile footwork and running on all fours to catch your opponent off guard. Also, Monkey's tail, longer limbs, and opposable digits permit him to effortlessly maneuver from one place to the next, making it that much easier for him to outwit his attackers thanks to his one-of-a-kind dexterity. Adding to that unpredictability is Monkey's impeccable flexibility, allowing him to simply flip, spin, or lunge in any direction he chooses that, more often than not, ends in a powerful kick due to his unmatched lower body strength. Out of all of the animal styles, Monkey's is the most directly tied to his personality, excluding Tigress of course. His relaxed demeanor is perfectly paralleled with his loose fighting style, earning him a spot on this unyielding team of hardy warriors. Slithering her way into the Five is our fourth member, Viper. The snake style is arguably the most versatile animal style, combining various traits found in other techniques, such as the speed of the mantis, the fluidity of the monkey, and the defense of the crane. That aforementioned speed is the serpent's primary tool in battle, resulting in extremely sharp and nimble movements that contort their bodies in unexpected ways. To perform this style, the most commonly used form is to hold your hand out straight, bring the fingers together, and bend your thumb. This position allows you to rapidly jab at vulnerable body parts, or parry and redirect incoming strikes in an instant. This is exactly where fluidity comes into play. Fighters have to seamlessly transition from the snake's slithery navigational method to an abrupt jolt for the final blow. Snakes typically retreat after they attack, however, in order to refrain from having their bodies too exposed to any potential threats. This defense mechanism is a necessary rule of the snake form for Viper to follow, to retract herself immediately after striking, or else she'll become susceptible to counterattacks, which are crucial to avoid. An ingenious yet terrifying hunting tactic that is often utilized by snakes is the wrapping of their intimidatingly lengthy body, entrapping their prey with no chance of escape. This unique quality is surprisingly absent from the snake style, but there is something quite similar found in another martial art, that being jujitsu. This practice is fundamentally focused on interlocking yourself with your opponent in attempts to reduce consciousness and blood flow. Viper has been seen to do this against numerous enemies, but also to aid others in special attacks and saving her friends from falling treacherous heights. Even with these shared skills, this reptilian heroine still manages to make it all her own. Crane may be my favorite member of the Five, but Viper might actually acquire my favorite fighting style out of this kung fu quintet. The fifth and final member of the Furious Five we will look at is Mantis. The Mantis style is actually the fastest of all the animal styles, managing to overtake even Viper in speed. This exceeding velocity is the result of the Mantis's undeniable patience. You see, due to his super speed, as humans we can't see things how he does. His perception is just as fast as he is. The briefest conversation with anyone seems like hours to him.
It's agony!
To perform the Mantis style, one must crouch down and form the arms in a hook position to imitate the bug's acutely angled limbs. With that previously mentioned patience, fighters sway back and forth as they wait for the ample time to attack. Mantis's quick reaction time and close-range precision and accuracy is a testament to his extreme speed, which will surprise anyone on the imposing side. This style is suitably fit for smaller fighters, using their unthreatening height as an advantage against those much bigger than them. While Mantis is indeed short in stature, he's not one to be underestimated. This unsuspecting insect is a fearless predator that can kill prey up to 3 times its size. A perfect explanation as to how strong Mantis is shown to be throughout the franchise. His lack of fear can also be associated with his confidence to leap into battle without a care in the world, sometimes resulting in his own defeat. Despite his spurts of overconfidence from time to time, Mantis is a quintessential member of the Five, and proves that when it comes to Kung Fu, a warrior's size does not matter. Now that we have seen the original 5 animal styles of Kung Fu in depth, I'd like to take the time to study my favorite fight scene in the entire Kung Fu Panda series, the battle on the bridge. I could gush all day about why this scene is so perfect in my eyes. The music is incredible, the set piece is creatively dynamic, and it gave us this.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
But the reason I'm bringing this scene up is because it really emphasizes how these 5 styles are used collectively. In some way, shape, or form, each character has something to contribute in this fight against what seems like an impossible defeat. Acting on instinct, Tigress is the first to pounce. A quick one-on-one ensues between Tai Lung and Tigress. The hand-to-hand is full of raw intensity and sheer aggressiveness, with Tigress bringing out those swiping movements and utilizing her claws when applicable. As soon as Viper comes in, she immediately strikes at Tai Lung, retreats with no hesitation, and strikes again, giving Tai Lung not a second to think. Crane makes his heroic entrance, soaring down to rescue Tigress from her impending demise. Back to Viper as she entwines herself with Tai Lung, comedically forcing him to punch himself. As we return to the cliffside, Monkey runs in on all fours to greet Tai Lung with a staggering backflip that ends in a powerful front kick. As Mantis uses all of his might in order to whip him off the rope, 4 out of the 5 charge at Tai Lung to put an end to the fight. With Monkey swinging into a dropkick, Viper stretches in to practically bitch slap Tai Lung right across the face. Crane snaps off the rope to entangle Tai Lung, handing Tigress the necessary alley-oop to defeat their worthy opponent, allowing Mantis to bring them all back to safety. While they didn't technically win the fight, the teamwork that is showcased is the encapsulation as to why these martial artists are the Furious Five, and why their reputation precedes them. I love the 5, and I really wish they weren't so sidelined in the sequels. I understand they're not the main characters and all, but I know they can do way more than what the rest of the films gave them. Hell, they're not even in the 4th movie, which is one reason I am still yet to give that film a chance. I guess I just need to watch the show, as I'm sure a serialized format would make way for further characterization. However, a character that doesn't require further characterization is the final one I'd like to examine. Being the sizable panda that he is, I assumed Po's Kung Fu was entirely original to the film due to no panda style of Kung Fu existing. To my surprise, the one animal style that seemingly translates to Po, or should I say the Dragon Warrior, is of course the Dragon style. What makes Po's style of Kung Fu special to him is his legendary bodacity. His round physique sets him apart from any other martial artist, as his bouncy body catapults and ricochets enemies great and painful distances. The Dragon style is not one that is solely external, however, but one that is also internal. This is exactly what draws Po to this style. Being able to become one with himself on the inside, before defeating his enemies on the outside. Internally and spiritually, he is far superior to his peers and mentors. Realizing and accepting the secrets of the Dragon Scroll, finding inner peace in only a matter of days, and rediscovering the studies of Qi are just a couple of examples as to why this style is akin to Po, and why he was meant to become the Dragon Warrior. After analyzing these characters and their various styles of kung fu, I believe the filmmakers were as accurate and respectful to these martial arts as they could have been, with liberties being appropriately taken to better suit the anthropomorphic nature of the characters. I'm by no means an expert when it comes to kung fu, so if I failed to mention anything or misinformed you in any way, be sure to let me know in the comments. I'm just glad to know more and appreciate the effort the filmmakers took into crafting one of my favorite films of all time.